Hello guys, how are we going? So welcome to this little live stream I'm doing today with Rob and Lindsey. So they're both guys that work at Weta with me. So we quite cool to have a chat, see what they're up to during lockdown. So hope you guys are doing good out there. So we're just chilling here in New Zealand, just relaxing, enjoying the. Hello, how are we going? Thank you for joining in, guys. Quite a few guys are coming here, so I hope you guys are doing well. As you can see, the room is a bit different than what you saw last time. Obviously, we are getting ready for the baby in October, so I had to redecorate a little bit, and obviously my half is going to be this half, and the baby's half will be the other side. So we're just waiting for Rob and Lindsay to jump in, and there she is. It was quick. All right. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Good out there? So beautiful Sunday outside. Oh, what's up?
How's it going?
Hey, you going? How are you guys enjoying your holiday?
It's
Good. Well, at least you got plenty of time to work on your costume now, eh?
good.
Zero excuse now. Anyway, this is Rob and Lindsay, guys. They both work with me at Weta Workshop. You guys want to introduce yourself quickly? Um,
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm Rob, and I am the team leader in the moulding department at Weta, and have been for the last 5 years.
yep.
And I've been at Weta for almost 8 years now.
Nice.
I'm Lindsay. I work in the molding department as well, and I've been there for about 2 years, 2.5 years.
Oh,
Yeah, good.
we got a question on just from. Hi, Jess. Jess is here from work. She's watching the stream. So no pressure, not saying anything too bad. Anyway, so let's while we were talking about Weta, let's talk about how you guys got to Weta. Let's talk about that. Always the question get asked all the time. How do you get a job at Weta? How you guys get there? You want to go first, Rob? Also, you, the oldest guy here who's been at Weta.
It was the case of like knowing the right person at the right time.
Yeah.
I studied industrial design at university, and
Yeah.
probably about a month after I finished my degree,
Yeah.
a friend, Ben Fearless, who's still at Workshop, he was working there, and he sent me a text and said, "Hey man, they're looking for people to come in and help out for a couple of weeks. Are you interested?" It's like, yeah, of course. And yeah, so went in the next morning for 2 weeks' work, and 8 years later, I'm still there.
That's awesome, man. That's always how it is.
Yeah.
I was contracted for 4 days work, and it's been 7 years. I'm still there, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right, Lindsay, you're up.
Okay, so I met this really cool person on Instagram. Might be a guy named Santa who could spicy tie design. And while I was living in Las Vegas in the States, I would just ask questions about what you were doing, what you were making, and we kind of had like a little bit of a back and forth of friendship going on. And I took a work holiday visa to New Zealand, and we said, heck yes, we should totally meet up and say hi in real life, and we did. And then you played with my emotions. You're like, so when you start at Weta? And I was like, don't do that to me. I said, I would love to. That's my dream. And you said, what kind of department do you think you would be in? I'm like, probably molding or casting, something like that. And you're like, well, maybe I'll ask around. And then 2 weeks later, I didn't hear anything. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden you sent me Rob's email and said, send your cover letter and your portfolio right now. And then you email me the second you finish it.
Yeah.
Panic, put it all together, sent it. Yeah. Didn't hear anything for 2 weeks again. Decided to go to South Island because I was like, well, if things can happen, I'll keep traveling. And 2 days being into the South Island, I got a call from Weta asking if I wanted to join, and I said absolutely, and they said, can you be there for an interview tomorrow? And I said yes. So I ran to the ferry, got on the ferry, came back the next day, took the interview, and I got hired for
I know.
for 2 weeks, and it's been 2.5 years. So.
That's I guess ours with you is all about 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and 2 years. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how works how stuff works. Because we were talking, then I think the same day I was talking to you, Rob, about just like hiring people for a workshop, and you said, "Oh, I'm so busy in the mold shop. I need more people." Then you said you do mold making. I was like, "Oh my god, the stars aligned." Am I right? I'll find out what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's,
so good.
it's so crazy. Anyway, we got a few guys here from the workshop. We got Kevin here as well, so quite cool. All right, we got a few questions. Have a look what we got. Oh, it's all Jess. Hi, Jess. It's fun. Anyway, good segue with that. Obviously, like we all got into Weta because we are in the right place at the right time, but we all do our own costuming before our life with Weta. So what kind of stuff do you do before you started Weta, Rob?
Well, I was involved with a group called the 501st,
Yeah.
which is an international Star Wars costume group. And we do a bunch of charity work and stuff. And so back in 2008, I think, I went along to the Eden Expo.
Yeah.
And, at the time, just had like a cardboard paper mache set of armor that I'd made, and got chatting with a couple of the guys from Outpost 42, which is the New Zealand contingent of the 501st, and they were super encouraging and kind of set me on the right path. And so then I kind of started getting into the higher quality costumes that I've kind of continued with, and that set me up to work at Weta. And it was kind of from doing that as a hobby that I was like, oh, actually, this is really cool. Like I'd like to pursue doing this full time.
It's quite.
My main costume is my custom Mandalorian.
Yeah. Oh, he has got a helmet. You're supposed to have it on. We had a little thing going. What happened?
Yeah, and so that was fully scratch built by myself from the ground up. The helmet's fiberglass. Just kind of the first mold that I made was for that helmet, and just using the internet as a resource for learning how to do it.
Yeah, it's crazy how like you look back at your first costume, and you're like, oh yeah. So at least it's fiberglass, so it's nice and sturdy. So it's really good. Yeah. So there was a question just popped up. What's your favorite piece you worked on so far?
As like a personal project, this is definitely right up there.
Yep. All right. Well, you, Lindsay, what's your story you do before you started your journey at the Weta workshop? Costume wise.
Costume wise, well, I come from the States where Halloween is huge, and I was definitely an avid costume maker every Halloween. Never bought a costume after a while because I was always like, I can make this so much better. So I just continued making awesome Halloween costumes, and then we also have the Renaissance Fair, and every Renaissance Fair I would make a brand new costume for it, and it'd just be really cool. And I started making armor with Warbler for a couple of anime costumes. But I got really far, and I came over here, and I just haven't been back yet.
That's all right.
But currently I'm working on extreme hardcore costume that
yeah, man, it's looking cool. It's looking cool. Well, let's talk about that then. So what's your current project or projects you guys are working on? And how long has it taken you to get so far?
Oh, we don't want to talk about that.
I'm gonna go grab my little piece of paper.
Okay. Well, I've got a couple of different projects on the go at the moment. Just kind of trying to wrap up a Boba Fett helmet paint job that I'm doing for Gino Acevedo.
Oh, nice.
That's getting really close now, which is exciting.
That's cool.
A little bit of a delay with it, just with us going into lockdown. And then I've got a set of Clone Trooper armor, Episode 3 Clone Trooper armor that I'm building up as well.
Ooh, nice, nice. Yeah, remember you sculpting that the Wookiee's head long ages ago. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
cool.
that's still on the back burner, but picking up
We'll get to it eventually.
yeah before I take that one up again.
Yeah. How about you, Lindsay? Can you talk about your latest one?
I'll show you. So I'm currently working
Oh,
on Miss Ahsoka Tano from
yeah,
Rebels,
yeah,
and it is a big giant mission.
yeah,
But so far, I have had all of her armor
yeah.
pieces printed in 3D, and
Oh, jeez.
yeah, and
You
they
going to the dark side, get stuff printed.
so I'm all learning. I'm learning all of this
Yeah,
stuff.
that's good. You have to play with the tools you have.
Yeah, so I got all the armor. It came in pieces, so I had to like glue it together, and then I
Yeah.
had to sand like crazy. So it is basically all the armor is like perfect. It is mint. So I am now molding it.
Oh,
Um,
Jesus.
yeah, because the ABS 3D prints are a
Mm.
bit less forgiving if I
Yeah,
damage them.
yeah,
I'm gonna put it in fiberglass, kind of like Rob's helmet.
yeah.
But underneath, I'm gonna put like an aluminium
Well,
powder.
holy smoke. She's gonna
And
like actually fight for real, Rob. Watch out.
so if I scratch it, it'll just have a metal look underneath. And
Nice.
the biggest part I'm doing right now is I'll show you, but is sculpting
Oh, that's right.
her headpiece,
Yeah,
which is is a ton of work,
yeah.
and
They look crazy.
it's very crazy. And just as an encouragement thing to anybody that wants to make costumes,
Mm.
um, costumes come with a lot of learning. And even with my sculpture, I'm going to have to chop it up because it needs a stronger armature throughout underneath the clay. So it is a learning thing, and it is probably very heartbreaking. But once it's done, it's going to be done, and it's going to be even better. And it's like just a learning curve, and like never take things as failures. Just always take it as like a learning thing. Because
Yeah, I find challenges are like fun problem solving. Oh,
yeah,
Valkim just say I need to hurry up and get those prints done. So yes, Valkim, you have to hurry up. She's waiting for it.
he's working on the Greek.
Yeah. Okay. We just got a question. What are some of the challenges taking a hobby or passion like costuming make it a full-time job? All right, who want to go first?
Um, I mean, I definitely at different points in my career doing it professionally have really struggled to find the motivation to
Yeah.
keep on working with my own stuff, um, with my own projects at home, particularly when we're working for deadlines on a film or other project, and
Mm.
we're kind of doing longer days and sometimes working the weekend as well. It can be kind of hard to find a balance, and so there have been periods while I've been working professionally that I haven't been doing a lot of stuff for myself. Um, and the last few years haven't been so bad. There's been a bit more of a balance for the most part at the workshop in terms of the workload. It hasn't been as extreme as it has been in the past. And so that's been really nice. It's kind of meant that I've been able to kind of chip away at projects kind of a bit more consistently. But it's definitely a case of when you're doing something at work all day, you kind of then don't necessarily want to come home and do it. Um,
Yeah.
but the flip side of that is that because workshop, because of the volume of work that we process, it's quite departmentalized. And so we just work in mold shop, and 95% of what we do at work is mold making or mold related. And so it can be really nice to then come home and do projects where you're actually doing other parts of the process.
Yeah.
So whether that's sewing up fabric parts for costumes or painting or sculpting, and it's nice to be able to do creative stuff that's not specifically mold making, which is what we're doing all day at work.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, you're right. I mean, like, you guys get totally slammed in the beginning and towards the middle, pretty much. You guys are pretty much the second department to get stuff, and you have to do all the molds, all our parts, and sometimes molds have to be changed because the armor maybe is not right or that piece is not right. So you guys get totally smashed in the beginning. So
Yeah.
how about you? Have you, Lindsay? How you find the challenges of making a hobby work?
Yeah, I feel like work is very demanding, just on like a mental and a technical kind of thing, which is awesome, but sometimes it leaves you a bit exhausted
Yeah.
during the work week. But honestly, it's just a matter of me getting over my personal just fears of making this awesome costume and trying not to mess it up.
Yeah.
But it's nice just like we just have everything kind of on a table ready for us to pick up a tool and work on it whenever we want to. And so even just giving 20 minutes to it, to maybe 2 hours or however long during the week, and then on the weekend just like really carving out a chunk of time to really get a lot done is really good.
Yeah, man.
It's like a lot of things in life where it might be a bit hard to motivate yourself to get started on something. But if you've got a project that's sitting on the bench ready to go, you just tell yourself, oh, I'll just do 5 minutes on it, and then half an hour's gone past. As soon as you make that step to start, then you can kind of just snowball and keep going.
Or just be like me, just don't sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, like, well, for also my story is that when I first started the workshop, I told myself that I'm going to make sure I do my own work as well. Because as I started, I've heard people who come to work and they either burn out or they go home, they just had enough. So the way I see Weta is like, I'm being taught by one of the best, probably the best craft people and the best, costumers and the best sculptor. And for me, it's like, it's just about picking the brain, just learning as much as I can, and like, what's the most craziest being in the costume department? You learn all these different techniques, and then you go home. So, I should have done it on that costume. So you go and change it, So it can. So one of the questions here, I was going to scroll down to it. Making a hobby. So, do you think costuming making has to be a hobby before you make it your profession? Not really. Yeah, I mean, like, so many guys at work, they're not costumers. They just, some guys like Will, your department, he likes to build tables. We get guys who like do different things. So it's not a what was the word? You don't have to be a costumer. You could be.
No, it's not a requirement.
No, it's not a requirement.
Having that creative drive to do something, I think, is definitely critical. I think if you don't have that creative drive, then you're not going to be as fulfilled by the work, and it's going to be really hard, long hours. But I don't think costuming specifically has to be a requirement in order to do it professionally. There's a lot of people at workshop, like you said, Will, and others, that are creative people, and they make other types of art, or they have other projects like Will's woodworking projects, but they don't necessarily make costumes and props and that sort of stuff outside of work.
I think that wasn't a bad question, by the way. It's a good question. So it's about having the passion for what you do, I guess. As Richard always say, he hire people on passion more than skills. Because you can teach skill set, but you can't teach passion, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like it's just have that creative thing, like you were saying, just having that, like, I guess, experience only within the trying something and learning something, and maybe having a chance to do something and look at it in a different way. That's so helpful, just to be able to look at things in just a different way every now and then to get better, I guess.
Yeah, and sometimes you can work on a movie that you're totally passionate about, that you kind of like used to watch when you were younger, and it's like just blowing your mind. It's like, oh my god, I'm working on this. How did this happen? That's pretty crazy. Like me on the Power Rangers, when I when I first, that's my first gig in the costume department was Power Rangers, and getting there, and there's a picture of the Red Ranger on the table. Okay, make this. Like inside, I was like, oh, yes. But trying to act cool outside, you know what Alistair's like. You can't show weakness around Alistair. Otherwise, he'll tear you apart. So I was trying to act cool. Yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
Where inside I was like, oh my God. No pressure, making the iconic Red Ranger. That's very funny.
Yeah.
When you guys have that kind of moment as well at work, that you're like, oh my God, I'm doing this. Lindsay, you want to go first? It's after you for the newest one we have here.
Well, like I basically anything and everything I worked on isn't in the world yet, but it's still cool just being able to, you know, get so many different kinds of things just put in front of you to make it, you know, will be something really cool later. And yes, I geek out all the time for anything.
Robert, but Lindsay, get back to work. Stop geeking out.
Yeah.
Mate, just give her like 10 minutes, all right? You got 10 minutes starting now. Have your geek out moment and get back to work.
That's all I need.
How about you, Rob? What's your most like fanboy moment you had? Like, oh my God, I'm doing this.
I don't know about my most fanboy moment, but I think one of the projects that, like, after this been involved with is the Collectibles Out of Our War.
Oh, that was cool.
That's it to Papa. It was a fun project to work on, and I learned a lot doing it. But it was really like seeing that end result and seeing people's reaction to the end result that kind of was massive. Yeah. For me. Yeah. Yeah.
I was the same as well. You know, obviously,
there have been projects that I've been really excited to work on.
Yeah.
Not all of which I can actually talk about at the moment.
Oh yeah, fair enough. There's one big one we can't talk about. That's so cool. But I was the same on Gallipoli as well. Obviously, I wasn't born in New Zealand, but I was aware of the World War One, obviously. But and also as I was working on it, I was really enjoying. I thought this is so cool. This is so much fun working on it. And then you go and see it in the space, and you realize you were having fun, but it was like so much more than that. It was so serious. It was really fulfilling to see it all come together. You know, with the big models they made, all the sculptures, all the music, all the lighting. The first time working through the whole exhibition, it was like, holy smoke, that's crazy. Anyway, we got a question that I've got to go. It was saying here, would you say COVID-19 has helped or hindered the work you do? Is it with your own hobby or with Weta, you reckon? I mean, let's do both.
I think in terms of work and the workshop, it's been a massive hindrance. Primarily around actually being able to source materials and products. Because we're kind of so far away and we're quite shut off at the moment from the rest of the world. Like we go through silicon by the drum, like 200 kilo drums at times. And so actually like shipping those drums of product to us and the delays that have occurred and the increase in material costs has been a big thing at work that's been a hindrance. I think on a personal level, while we've been in quarantine and in lockdown, it has given us a bit more time to actually work on our own projects. Kind of nice. But it's difficult when you can't just pop down to Bunnings and pick up that thing that you need.
I know.
Yeah. So a bit of both.
Yeah. I guess it's the New Zealand way, though. We'll make do what we have, but if we haven't got it, we'll just make something else to fit the purpose, pretty much. Yeah.
And I guess at the beginning of COVID, like when everything just started, with New Zealand being essentially like a COVID-free zone for a while, that I feel like we were able to take on more projects that couldn't take place around the world. So that, in that sense, it was helpful. But like getting materials is really difficult. As far as costuming goes, like the lockdowns have given us more time. But same thing with materials. Like if you really need like a really specialized material, you just gotta wait. But yeah, I feel like it's helped and not helped at the same time. Just
Yeah,
kind of equaled out at the end, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. Obviously, like I said, like he's got to make the most of what you can at the moment. It's
Yeah.
such a strange time. Okay, Kevin asked for the funniest workshop story.
Can I say one?
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay. We made this huge giant mold. And when I say giant mold, we needed a ladder to get up to the top of it.
Yeah.
It was like all of these fiberglass jackets,
Yep.
and there was like a clay sculpt on the inside that we
Yep.
needed to capture the detail, and like a bit of negative space, and then
Yep.
the jackets.
Yep.
And the hardest way to explain mold making. But anyway,
Yeah.
so basically, we had to go to the top of this and pour buckets and buckets and buckets of silicone into
Yep.
this giant mold.
Yep.
And as we're pouring, like we probably had how many people? Like 10?
At least, yeah.
Like 10 people running around, mixing silicone, bringing it up, dumping it in, making
Yep.
sure it's okay. And all of a sudden, somebody screams, "Leak!" On the inside of one of these giant molds,
Yeah.
there was like a hole about that big,
Yeah.
just like spewing material. And so
Yeah.
one of our friends, Judith, she like
Oh,
dove
Judith.
into this mold and like stuck her face. And so and we're like leak. And so I'm in there as well. Like I got like rags and I'm just holding it to hold the
Yeah.
material and so we're not losing it.
Yeah.
And Rob just comes in and he goes, "I've got it. Just step aside." And I said, "Okay." And so he had mixed a bucket of like fast setting plaster and he just like mixed as fast as he could and he got this huge handful of like almost set plaster. And I hear him just go to the inside of the mold and I can't see his face, mind you. And then all of a sudden I hear and he just comes out and he has all of the plaster all over his face. It just went on and straight onto his face. And the whole room was like in tears, laughing so hard.
That's gonna be bad look. I've got this. No, sorry, I haven't got it.
To be fair, he did fix it though. He found out like, a beautiful way to fix it, and it was
okay.
I think a lot of the funniest that I've had are around molds leaking as well.
Yeah.
It's like if you've got a big mold and it starts in somewhere really awkward, it's just about troubleshooting on the fly and trying to work out the best way to access the area to stop it from leaking. And so we've had big molds that we've been balancing between two tables so that we can get underneath them in the middle to access it. And other molds that we're lying on the floor underneath it and like reaching up and around into the ends. And people inevitably end up getting somewhat covered in silicone. So those are probably some of the funniest stories for me as well.
Yeah, I guess that's why you hired Judith, right? Because she can get in those weird places. Yeah.
Yeah, when we find us and like giant things and get to this tiny point, she just like crawls in. She's like,
Judith's great for that kind of stuff. Someone say, can they share a joke? Go for it. As long as it's not rude, you can share your joke on here. Go for it. So my funny story was, obviously outside the Weta cave, we have 3 trolls out there, right? And I would say every couple of years, those because of their material of their clothing's made of leather, it will start to get weathered, start to get maybe yucky, have to be replaced. This one year, I had to replace one of the trolls' underwear. Right? I've done it 3 times now. I don't know why they always choose me to do it. So just one time, I was obviously using contact glue with the leather, and then right there in the crotch, just holding it there, make sure it stays. And the whole bus of tourists just came out, and they were just like snapping pictures with me, like pretty much. By the word, I was cutting the trolls, and pretty much just all the photos. It's like, oh, thanks, Kevin, you got a photo as well. Thanks, man. So I was like, great. It's like 20 odd tourists. They hear the first experience at the Weta workshop. There's a guy pretty much cupping the troll. So it's like, great.
That's great.
So that's my my personal funny stories.
That's so
Anyway, cool. I've got a standard question. So, what would be the costume that you would love to make? When obviously with all the resources, all the money, whatever you want, here, make this costume. If you have that, let's say Richard come down tomorrow, go, Rob, Lindsey, we got this. You guys do what you want. What costume would you say? Or what things? Could be things or costume, doesn't matter.
It's kind of hard to just like narrow it down
to one.
Yeah.
one.
Just one company here.
Yeah,
Star Wars. So it'll be Star Wars, obviously. No, Rob.
I would do a boat, like
A boat?
a Bo-Katan,
A
the
Bo-Katan.
female. She like to do like the most coolest epic freaking with the jetpack and like all the stuff like in the helmet.
Yeah. But you see the photos that that they released of Ironhead recently of the costumes. Yeah. Oh, it looks so cool. It's like
Full like Ironhead, like exactly the same. Like that's so cool.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, man. How are you, Rob?
In Solo, the movie, when Han and Lando are playing Sabacc at the end of it, alien sitting at the table, and I think the character's name is Argus Panox, but he's quite often 6 eyes.
Yeah.
So he's got like 6 eyes, 3 on each side that are out on like antenna stalks that move around. Yeah. And I've loved that design since I saw it.
Wait. Lizzie's got a picture. Oh, yeah, him. He's cool, man. He's almost like had the Man in Black looking that guy.
Yeah. So I think that'd be a really cool one to make at some point, and actually try and put some level of animatronics into the eyes to get a little bit of movement.
Cool. So, also, Adventurer said, would you put smoke in the jetpack?
Yeah.
Would you fly?
I mean, like legit. If I just had all expenses, all the materials, all the everything, like cool.
You were like Adam Savage with his like Iron Man, not Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man with the one that fly. That'd be Lindsey with a big jetpack. Oh, just ask Jordan. He got some jetpack lying around, surely.
That's Jordan.
Grab a couple of rockets.
Yeah, a couple of rockets. Like, it'd be fine. But see you, Lindsey. We'll see you later. There she goes, taking off.
It'd be so loud. It'd be so loud.
Oh, those things are awesome, man.
Yeah, so cool.
Nice.
Awesome adventures. Like now you gotta do it.
Well, she talked about it. It's online. It's official. It's a contract. Oh, someone said American missed you, Lindsey.
Yeah.
We're back sooner or later. Let's talk. While talking about Adam Savage, how cool is that guy?
He's so cool.
He's so cool. I mean, like we had him around the workshop. What, 2-3 times now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he was super humble. He's just like he's really
humble,
cool.
So passionate as well.
Yeah.
So
Enthusiasm for everything, like transfer his videos and everything that he does. And it's also like meeting him in person. It's also genuine.
Yeah. Oh, I said, it's what you see is what you get. You see him on the screen, then you see him real life. The passion just comes through. So it's really good.
Yeah, he's lovely human being.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll come back sooner or later. It's like also we had the Unleash, the silicon, like the model of him.
Yeah.
I had the one where he was all scarred up next to my desk for so long, like for about 2 weeks. I walk in, and like I get a fright, man. It's such a good idea. It's like, oh, it's just Adam. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's quite freaky.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, in Unleash, there's Adam Savage is part of it. So
yeah. Man, make no cameo. Yeah, Unleash was fun. How you guys find that project? Obviously, it was challenging, but
it was a mission and a half. But it was so much fun to do so much stuff. Like I got to go into the welding bay. I got to help with sewing. I got to help with all kinds of random stuff. Like it was. So that part was so cool, and we just made so much stuff, and it was fun. It was really, really crazy, fun time. Just like hectic. It was like go, 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 go. But I work under pressure well, so it was fun.
Oh, we have to, like, pressure is our friend. You know, it's kind of like it's kind of boring without the deadline.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
just make forever.
Yeah, just give me a deadline. What you want it by tomorrow? Oh, sure. You know,
No problem.
no problem. We got this. We got this. Yeah, I mean, at least it was cool. It was nice to like seeing Weta going back to being old school again, in a way. You know, making all those monster stuff, making all like just something off the cuff, which for me was really fun because that's why I love Weta Workshop so much on the Lord of the Rings. It was more off the cuff. It was planned, but it was so spontaneous, which I really enjoyed that part of it. You know, you have so much input to what go into the exhibition, which is really cool. You know, that's quite rare for us in the industry to have some input, so it's really cool.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah. Hopefully, when the borders open, you guys can come down to New Zealand after Auckland and see the exhibition. You guys been yet?
Yeah. We actually haven't been up there yet.
Oh, haven't you?
No, not yet.
No, I haven't seen it all installed.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy. Yeah, it's like as I said, like it's something that like there's nothing in New Zealand like it. You know, there's nothing like it here. And as you walk in, it is like walking to it's like Narnia. You're walking through a cupboard and you're immersed in this amazing world. So it's really cool. And like definitely like we always talk about trying to encourage the younger generation this world. You know, this is almost like if you are a kid like 13, 14, you come out of this exhibition, you want to go home and you want to make stuff. Guaranteed. You know, it's that cool.
Oh yeah. As a kid, I love visiting Weta Cave.
Yep.
Just that was there. And yeah, it was just like, and that was just what they had in the shop because the window into the workshop tour didn't exist at the time.
Oh, that's right. That's quite newish. Yeah.
So, like for me at that age, like even just what they had on display was so incredible to see, and that like not even 1% of what's in Unleashed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you guys remember the Lord of the Rings exhibition? Oh, Lindsey, you probably not, but at Te Papa, remember when they finished the filming of the 3 movies and they had the exhibition there at Te Papa? How cool was that? That was like, oh. So what? I had 2 things that stuck in my mind all these years. One was the Minas Tirith miniature. That was really cool, and Boromir in his boat.
Yeah.
That's the 2 things that stuck in my mind to this day. So how about you, Rob? What's the 2 things that really stuck in your mind seeing the exhibition?
I think Boromir and his boat was definitely you just see like a full like 1-to-1 life-size version of Sean Bean, and it just looked like Sean Bean was just lying in the boat under his glass case. And then they had the Argonath sculptures right by the entrance.
Oh yeah, those were cool.
And they were just like so big and so imposing.
So I heard a story that one day Sean Bean took the model out and put himself in to find someone. That was quite funny.
I'll put someone.
Yeah. Oh, most people. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
That was such an amazing exhibition. I was so stoked to see it, and that really like kind of like light a few to like for me want to do more stuff. You know, want to like get into making things. So it's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like with most people, like when Lord of the Rings came out and just the behind the scenes part.
Oh yeah, but that's
like what a true honest window into like what goes on and like what jobs there are, and like I feel like so many people watch it and they're like, oh my gosh, that's a job to make furniture and to make the armor and to do all this stuff. And
I think that was the first. I mean, like from my knowledge, it's the first kind of like first time you see behind the scene of a movie. First time there's a DVD box set where it had the behind the scene as well. Yeah, yeah. I remember I bought maybe 3 copies of that. I bought the original copy where it was 1 disc, had some behind the scene. Then I bought the 2 disc. Then I bought the 4 disc one. And
Yep.
to be honest, I watched the making of it more than I watched the movie. I love the movie itself, but
Yeah, of course.
I can watch the making of it constantly. You know, it's so cool.
Yeah, I remember watching those making ofs, like pausing it constantly and just like looking at all the stuff in the background.
Yeah, and how weird is it when you first started with it? It was so weird. Walking in, just like, oh,
crazy.
They talk about that, and then
like, there's so much stuff on the walls everywhere. And especially down our end of the building.
Oh yeah, you guys got heaps down there.
Stuff. Like the weapons wall.
Yeah.
Those that don't know, it's just like a corridor, and it's just the walls are lined with weapons from all the different projects we've worked on over the years.
Yeah.
And having a lot of the scannable maquettes on shelves around as well. It's pretty incredible.
Yep. It's so cool. I mean, like, I had an exhibition about 8 years ago now, and maybe 4 months leading up to that exhibition, I watched the making of the movie every night. I just had it playing in the background as I'm doing my woodcuts every night. It was almost like meditating or like listening to like classical music, because the way people talk about the project is quite inspiring. You know what I mean? So like, as they talk about, like Daniel talk about his design for the elf, it's kind of like that kind of tone of voice really get you into the mood of making. You know what I mean? It's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Josh joining us. So Josh was the second AD on Mulan, and he worked on Lord of the Rings as well. So I got a funny story. So on Mulan, we were lining up in a location down the South Island called Pooburn, I think, and that was the same location where they filmed the 2 towers, the burning village in the beginning. So as we were lining up the hill, I turned around and I went, "Hey Josh, is this the burning village?" He said, "Yeah, this you get back to work." I turn around, I see the lake and I see where the huts are. I remember watching the behind the scene. They were talking about how they build the village over the fisherman's hut. That part, I just remember how that looks so much like those huts. Yeah, and it was like, yep, what a geek.
We all have our moments.
I know, we all have a moment. It was cool. It was so nice going down to South Island and see those locations. Because we filmed on Mulan a lot of the Lord of the Rings locations, so it's quite cool to kind of like you pick out a rock formation. I remember that. It's really cool.
Yeah. Definitely traveled around with like the location guide.
Oh, that's all you did too. Yes, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
South Island. Still gonna get down there.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. We interrupted your trip to make you work away to workshop. My bad.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, worth it. I'll do it later. It was fine.
Something else inspire you with? So, trying to read that question. Sorry. Can you guys see that question? This came up.
I'm actually the one that says I'm actually from somewhere.
Yeah.
The inspiration for Hobbit and Lord of the Rings is from.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, you're from over in Europe. Obviously, I was in Switzerland 2 years ago, and we went. It was quite cool to see what inspired Tolkien to do Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and some of those places. It's so cool.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's such a beautiful part of the world, but it's so expensive. Holy smoke! Remember the first trip we went? I was gonna buy a beer. So I was doing the conversion, so I'm pretty much paying twice as much for this. But you know what? I'm there. I'm just going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just have to do it. Nice. All right. You guys got any more questions? Make sure you pop it in. We'll try and answer as much as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What else can we talk about? You guys got anything you guys want to talk about? You want to? Oh, even Matt's joined us. Hackathon.
Hey, Matt.
It's like the reunion of the weather workshop. It's really cool. It's nice everyone's popping on. Hope you guys are doing well, having a nice holiday until we have to get back to work. And it's like, you have to make this in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All the deadlines that aren't shifting, but our time to make this getting more and more.
Yeah.
It's crazy how the world, I mean, like you see those images of people like going to a convention, which is really cool. It's nice to see the world is opening back up again. But then again, you get a bit like, is that too early? You know? But I guess you have to move on and go for it.
Don't make money? Well, it depends. Depends on how you make it.
Yeah. All right. One more question. This is making voices and weather. You guys want to take that one?
Yeah. So, like the design process for the stuff we make is very different from project to project. Some projects, like Unleashed, we have a lot more freedom to actually have input on the design and the way stuff's getting made, and we'll kind of go through iterations to find kind of the final thing. Whereas some other projects, typically kind of with the bigger studios, they tend to have a much more kind of specific idea of what they're after. And sometimes the concept artwork's done by the Weta design department, and sometimes it's external designers or a combination of the two. But there tends to be a little bit less freedom on those jobs around like the design iteration. Whereas some jobs kind of, it tends to be the lower budget jobs in experience that have a bit more freedom, and the director and the designers are a lot more open to kind of making changes to stuff in order to make things simpler and easier to actually produce. That's kind of been my experience. So it's very job dependent.
I mean, like, because someone here hassling me about not shaving my hair for my Star Killer. Thanks, man. One day. I knew it was going to come up. I was waiting for you to come on.
Yeah.
Here. Anyway, get back to the question. Obviously, we are lucky at Weta that we pretty much a one-stop shop. You know, what's good for me in the costume department is when you make a costume, you just go down the corridor and talk to the actual designer of the costume, and you go, what is this little squiggle you drawing? What's this supposed to be? You know, so we're lucky when we do get the design in-house as well. We can talk to the designer themselves. You know, we get them in. We can talk about what this drawing is, what the back view is going to look like, because sometimes they don't draw the back view for you. So we're lucky in that way that pretty much we get everything in-house. You know, we go from design to making to producing, and sometimes even the collectibles as well. You know, obviously that's something we do a lot of now, a lot of collectibles.
Yeah.
And some of the molds you guys do for collectibles are crazy, man. Like those.
Round wheels. Was it was massive. It was so big.
So we're getting bigger and bigger with our collectibles. Not getting any smaller. We're making a one-to-one sculpture of Treebeard soon. I bet you. I'm going to call it 10 years time. Richard's going to come down. We're doing a one-to-one Treebeard.
Yeah, we're making.
Let's go. Two.
That's crazy. Could you imagine? But they are getting bigger, and they're so. I mean, like
so
during
much detail.
People. We get to see these sculptures being made and really get put together and figured out, and they're so cool. They're just gorgeous. Like the tiniest detail is just absolutely stunning.
I mean, like the latest one, the Hobbits hiding from the Black Rider.
That one.
Yeah.
Holy crap! That's like wow. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, every detail, it's there. Like little bugs crawling on them, like in the film, and like all the vegetables that they have, like everything.
Yeah. Everything. And the mushrooms. You can't miss out the mushrooms.
There's some pretty phenomenal sculpts and paint jobs.
I mean, like also in the cave we have the really early Lord of the Rings like collectibles, and you have the stuff you have now. I mean, like I say, the old stuff's still beautiful. I do still enjoy them, but the level that we go through now, it's crazy. I mean, like, and for even the way the bodies put together, they all come apart. They have magnets now, and it's so complex and so fragile now too. So it's a big job.
Yeah, the CPU team does an awesome freaking job getting, just really wrapping it all together and getting it looking neat.
Yeah, I've got a few. I mean, my biggest one is Dane and the Boar. I got that one because I got to make the actual armor for Comic-Con probably 5 years ago now. Maybe 6 or 7 years ago now. That was quite cool to be the first one to make that make that live. And then like after I finished it, 2 weeks later, that came out. Why didn't you give me the 3D model? But they gave me the screenshot. Oh, can you make this for the Comic-Con from screenshots? I'm like, they were working on that. They could give me this 3D model. My job was so much easier. Thanks, guys.
Those guys.
I mean, like, it's so cool. I mean, like, we have that in the cave now, and that is such a cool little like. We went through a phase for Comic-Con where we made those. Remember those Warcraft stuff? We did. Yeah, we did obviously the men and the massive what's his name?
Orgrim and Jeff.
Orgrim. That was cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, those full like to one life size. Life size.
Yeah. Oh, how about that? I remember one of my first cool job at work was like how we made those smog heads for the airport and for Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So Andrew said to me, "Oh, we need to destroy that polystyrene head. Can you destroy it?" Okay, cool. What do I use? He gave me an axe first. Polystyrene and axe does not work together. So I whipped it and it bounced back. It must be about that much. Okay, I need something else.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So Valkeem's got a question. So what should people study to get a job? What do you do?
One.
Yeah.
I studied industrial design.
Yeah.
And some elements of that degree have been very helpful, like having a bit of knowledge of 3D modeling.
Yeah.
And that side of things. But other elements of that degree haven't been so useful within this field.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that I've learned like just at home by myself prior to starting Weta. Use the internet.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of really good online resources these days, a lot more than there were even, like 5 years ago. If you're wanting to get more into kind of the special effects side of the film work rather than like costume making, the Stan Winston character arts school of character arts is phenomenal. There's a lot of really good information there, and I know internationally there are some schools that have degrees around getting into the film industry. We've got a few friends at Weta that have come over from the UK, and they all met at a school in London there, which is kind of specifically for prop and costume making and special effects and that side of things. But to be honest, like when I'm hiring someone for a job, it's more about showing the work that they've done and showing not just the end result, but how they arrived at that end result. Showing the process. That's more what I look for than they've got a degree in whatever thing. Because it's, for me, when I'm looking at hiring someone, I'm more interested in what they can, like what they're actually able to do. And I want to see the finished product, but I also want to see how they got to the finished product.
Oh, so the journey for me is obviously like you see all these portfolio with beautiful pictures for the end product. As you said, how do you get there? What problem solving you have to do to get this? Because that's what we do so much of work is problem solving. Because like we always every movie we do, we always want to make it better than the last one. You know, so there's always a lot of R&D, a lot of like, you know, let's try this out. So as you're right, you know, show us your process, show us your failure. You know, you tried this, it didn't work, then you failed, but how did you solve it to make it work for the next time? That's probably more what we're looking for than someone says, oh, I made this, it was perfect. And you're like, do you learn anything from it? You know? Yeah. Definitely, yeah. I mean, like, also when you say about schools, also I've been, Tour Vacati is one of the places we have here in Wellington. So they teach, they have a costume department, they have a set and prof department as well. So for us, it's probably like one of the direct pipelines that we have here. So so as you said, I mean, like most people in the workshop do not have a formal education in this kind of stuff. Back then, it's all about being self-taught. Internet, like YouTube, is such a great resource. Like we get asked all the time, how do I make this? And I was, have you guys jump on YouTube yet? You know, you want to learn something. And there's so many friends that do awesome tutorial on YouTube. You know, some of you guys we know. You jump on YouTube, man. You can find anything. You can fix your car probably by jump on YouTube.
It's like, as far as like education, like I had a degree in fine arts.
Yes, I've got fine arts as well.
With a concentration in sculpture and a concentration in printmaking.
You do printmaking? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did printmaking.
Let's do some printmaking together. Yes.
I did more etchings. I've never done a woodcut actually, but I did lots of lithography and just like regular screen printing and lots of etchings.
It's time for printmaking.
So fun. But yeah, like some things I learned randomly throughout university, like definitely helped me on this end. Like I learned how to make really basic molds in ceramics class, you know, and then, you know, just later in life, I had the opportunity to start to help a company start a life casting company.
Yeah, that's right.
And like from that, like honestly, like what I could bring to them is that I've used plaster before and that I've made a 2-part mold and I have a basic idea of how to do a life cast. And basically from there, we built an entire company, which is now taking off. It's in Las Vegas. It's Lifecast Studios. But, you know, it's like, you know, where if you ask me, like, are you the perfect person that knows all the knowledge about everything? It was like, when I started, definitely not. But like now, it's like what we do in that studio, I can do all day long. It's just, it was really just a learning thing. But like you said with YouTube videos, just learning stuff and trying stuff and like, you just learn as you go, you know, and you just, if you don't know something, just look it up. And if you are lucky enough, we have such a huge variety of friends that we work with, have so many different skill sets. You can literally just go, I could come to the, you know, the leather room or costuming and be like, hey, how can I put this together where it actually is? Or, you know, always ask and look up information. Like there's so many people willing and would love to help and love to teach.
I guess for me, it's not about knowing everything. It's about knowing where to find out. You need to find, you know, you need to make something. You know, if you want to make something, you know that you've seen this YouTube video before 6 months ago of someone making this. You can't go back to it. That's for me. That's what I'm trying to teach the students, the Tour Vacati. It's not about knowing everything. It's about knowing where you can go to find the information that you need at the time. That's why I say, like, when you're crafting, when doing stuff, just have the YouTube stuff play in the background. For me, the same is when you see someone, you hear them how they make it. It's that kind of like, it's like people listen to Mozart, listen to Beethoven. That's to me, you listen to makers and you listen to their thought process. That for me, that's what I enjoy watching while I'm making. Well, you guys, like, what you guys making? You have music playing, or you have YouTube playing in the background? What do you guys do? Or just silence? Not talking aloud. You're working.
Yeah, it varies for me. Like sometimes I'll have some YouTube or like a TV show playing in the background.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll listen to an audiobook or some music.
Yeah.
Generally, I'll have something going on in the background.
Yeah.
But it'll just kind of depend what I'm doing and
Yeah.
feel like as to what it actually is.
I can't have like YouTube videos or movies, anything with visual, because I will totally sit forever. So into lots of audiobooks and just like video game background music, or like movie theme music, just like no words. Like I need like epic, cool, like adventure while I'm going through the adventure of making something.
I've been listening to the Studio Ghibli.
Yes.
The orchestra, the one with the live one, the one that go for an hour and a half.
Yes.
I've been playing that quite a few times as I'm crafting. That's been quite cool.
Joe Hisashi's so good.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love the part where Miyazaki surprised him with a bunch of flowers. That was so good.
It's so good. Such a good.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, watching recommendation. I just on Netflix. I just watched How Movie That Makes Us. You guys seen that series on Netflix?
No, I haven't seen that one.
So it's a series on about the old school movies that influence the pop culture now. Also, there's one on Back to the Future. I just watched the Jurassic Park one, and I used to love that movie, Jurassic Park. You know, and it's quite cool to go back and listen and watch it. And what's cool about this series, or that one anyway, is really honest. You know, there's no like glossy polish over the whole documentary. It's pretty much honesty, which is really cool. So if you guys want to watch something inspirational, jump on Netflix and watch those series. It's really cool.
Yeah.
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 It's really cool. Wow, it's been an hour. We've done well.
Already? Oh yeah, nice.
No, that went fast. That was cool. Well, thank you for joining me, guys. It was nice to have a catch up. And obviously, like, hopefully to inspire people to make stuff, and I'm sure we'll catch up hopefully next week at work. We'll see how we go.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Otherwise, looking forward to seeing updates on your costumes.
Yes, totally.
Then maybe we can all rock up to Armageddon next year, and that'd be quite cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Give it a rest.
Awesome. Thank you for all your questions, guys, and for joining us here. And we'll catch you guys next time. And this is fun. If we keep going lockdown, I might keep on doing this. Get a few more guys around the world joining in, and we'll have a quick chat. It's been heaps of fun.
Yeah.
All
right.
Stay safe, guys. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye. Right, that was cool. Thank you for watching, guys, and definitely can do this again. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, catch you later. Stay safe out there. See ya. Bye.